that. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. I've got a couple of teenagers who are still sleeping, and I'm in the dining room, of course, and they're in their bedrooms, which are just at the end of the hallway, so I'm trying not to talk too loud. It's early in the morning here, and I'm just getting my day started, so I figured I would try and record this new video and get this up for you guys of my whip updates, some stash, some haul that I've got, and I guess an update on the contest that I'm doing, the giveaway. So, how are y'all doing this morning? I hope you're doing really well. I hope the weather is better where you are than it is here. We've got some really nasty rain today. And we had nasty rain yesterday, and thunder and lightning. So, it was a good stitchy day, but unfortunately I didn't get any stitching done yesterday. I had to go with my son into the city and get all his stuff kitted up for school, and got all that done. My daughter didn't need anything new or extra, so we got her all sorted out already. And they actually start back to school next week, so I don't think they're too excited about it. I really don't think so. So, whip updates. First, I will show you my Doctor Who pattern. I've gotten some stitching done on this. I'll show you a picture, I think, of where it was the last time I showed you. And this is where it is now. It's been super busy at work, and I only stitch on this at work, so not a whole lot of progress, but I did manage to get, I'm not sure, I think I had to finish this doctor, so I think I finished him, I did him, and I've started him. Or I may have just finished him at the last video and I only got him and him done. I'm not sure. But that's where it is now. I think I have 2 more doctors left to do. Hang on, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's 13. So I have 3 more doctors left to do, and then the TARDIS on the end. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm still enjoying this little pattern. It's really simple and easy to work on when I'm at work. And like I say, that's just my work whip. I don't take that out otherwise. It never gets taken out here at home to work on. That's that one. So I've been a rather boring stitcher this month, or these last few weeks, because it hasn't been a month, I don't think, since I've did my last video, but I've been a really boring stitcher. I decided I was going to do a whip. See, it's too early in the morning. I can't even speak. It's a sure sign I need extra coffee. I had decided I was going to do a whip rotation. There we go. Got it out that time. However, my whip rotation went right out the window. As fast as I decided I was going to have one. Yeah. I had decided I was going to work 2 weeks on my father's project, and then 1 week on my Record Girls, and 2 weeks on my dad's project, and 1 week on my Record Girls. Well, the 2 weeks on my dad's project went along swimmingly, no problems whatsoever. And then this happened. I'll show you the whole project. Well, actually, I'll show you a picture first of what it looked like the last time you saw it. And this is it now. So I've reached the end of this page. Like, I'm at the end. So this is the entire top portion of this chart done, except for this corner. And this is the corner that threw my whip rotation out the window. I decided that I'm not going to go back to my Record Girls piece until I finish that. So I'm going to have that finished today, which means I'm back to working on Record Girls tomorrow, which means I will have an update on that chart, on that pattern for the next video. But there's no update on Record Girl this time around. And anybody who follows me on Instagram will also know that, because my Instagram has been very boring. It's pictures of this over and over and over, and an odd picture of the doctors, and then more pictures of this for updates. Because Instagram for me is a real great way for me to keep track of how I'm doing. So the stitching on this is going really well. That's how large the picture is going to be. I've reached the end, like I said. I'm really pleased with how this whole shoreline finished out. It looks, I think it looks really well. I think it looks really good. So this bottom portion is the same width. And it's going to be the bottom half of the boat and the water surrounding it. It's not nearly as confetti heavy as the top portion was, so I'm really expecting that to go a little bit faster. So I'm hoping to get this finished today, and then I will be back to my Record Girls tomorrow. I'll work on them for a week, and then I'll go back to 2 weeks of this one. So that's that. And I'm getting really excited for this project because now that the top section is done and all that confetti stitching is out of the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still confetti in the water, but it's not nearly as confetti heavy as the top part of that chart was. Okay, so that's it for my whips, I'm afraid. I don't have any other whips to show. Like I said, the Record Girls got put on the back burner. I just, like I said in other videos, and I'm don't want to be repeating myself, but I just want to make sure I get that chart for Dad finished before his birthday, and finished in ample time to get it framed. Okay, so that's my whips. Next thing, giveaway. As most of my subscribers will know, if you've watched my videos recently, you will know I'm doing a giveaway. I put up a video specific to the giveaway, and that giveaway, the entries, the deadline for entering the giveaway is, today's, I don't even know what day of the week this is. Is this Wednesday? I know the date. Today is September 2nd. That's what happens when you work shift work. You don't know your days from your nights, and your nights from your days, and your days of the week from your weekends. But today is September 2nd. I do know that. So I know the deadline for entering the contest is midnight Newfoundland time. Yes, us Newfoundlanders have our very own time zone. Midnight Newfoundland time on the 3rd. So midnight on the 3rd. So you have all day on the 3rd, so all day tomorrow to enter, up until midnight tomorrow night. And then that's it. That's the cutoff. I go back to work tomorrow, so it'll probably take me a day or two to kind of make sure I've got everything. I haven't missed anybody's entry, and then I will do a quick video on the 5th, which will just be an upload of me using random generator to do the draw, and I will draw for prize 1 and prize 2. And just a reminder, prize 1 is a Haid gift certificate for $19, because that's what most of their larger charts are valued at, and the digital copies. And the second prize was like a little gift pack with some random stuff in it. So if you want to see the details of that, go watch the other video. Okay. Next thing. I made before some grime guards, and that was a whole story and a half, but I wanted grime guards. So let me explain now what happened yesterday. So a few weeks ago, I wanted a couple grime guards made, and I had mentioned them in my last whip video, actually from 3 weeks ago, because I had gone to my friend's house, and with her assistance, meaning she loaned me her sewing machine, because I don't have a sewing machine. I know how to use a sewing machine, but I do not have a sewing machine. And I usually use my mom's, which is currently not, it needs to be serviced. There's something not quite working right with it. So I called up my friend and I said, hey, I'll come over, bring a cup of tea, coffee, whatever, and we'll have a chat and let me use your sewing machine. Perfect. All fine and dandy. Went to her house, sewed up a couple of grime guards, worked great. Come home. My husband says to me, so, why did you go to Carol's again? I said, oh, I went there because I needed to use her sewing machine. And he looks at me and he goes, what's wrong with your sewing machine? And I looked at him and I said, I don't have a sewing machine. He's like, yeah, you do. I said, no, honey, I don't have a sewing machine. He's like, yeah, you do. I said, no. I said, are you talking about that little, learn to sew machine that we got for Emma when she was little? And, you can sew. I probably could have sewn a grime guard on it, but it's not working. The thing broke. And he was like, no. He said, the sewing machine I bought you, 10 years ago. And I was like, that antique thing that you purchased for me 10 years ago, that's been sitting at the end of our hallway that I use as a tabletop to display picture frames on. So the sewing machine is there for looks. The cabinet is opened up because it's it's one of these antique Singer sewing machines. It's actually a Spartan sewing machine, and it's built into a cabinet. The tabletop folds out, and the sewing machine looks lovely, and it's there as an antique, it's like a showpiece sitting at the end of my hallway. And the tabletop portion has picture frames all on it. I was like, honey, I said, that thing doesn't work. You just bought it. He bought it for $20 at some yard sale. Some guy was getting rid of it. And he said, sweetheart, the man who sold that to me told me he had the thing serviced a month before I bought it. So that was 3 weeks ago. And I refused to believe that thing actually worked. So, anyway, between jigs and reels, I dragged the thing out from the hallway, set it up in my dining room, in my kitchen, where the lighting is a little bit better, opened the bloody thing up, wiped it all down, had a look underneath to make sure it was all clean and all that sort of stuff. It is electric. It's one of the first, I shouldn't say one of the first electric ones, but this thing was manufactured in 1951, okay? 1951. I plugged in the old cord, put the foot pedal on the floor, pushed on it, and lo and behold, the thing works like a top. It works better than any modern sewing machine I've used. It is smooth like butter. This thing hardly makes much noise. It sews perfectly. The stitches are amazing. So just to show you what I mean, this is the stitching that I did on my friend's sewing machine, okay? Which is a very modern sewing machine. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not a sewer, by the way. I sew the odd thing, this sort of thing, straight stitching. For me to do a garment or anything, forget it. I would never be able to. But I can sew a baby quilt, I can put together a quilt, I can put together, anything that's straight sewing, I'm good to go. So, yeah, that's the grime guard I made at my friend's house. This is the grime guard I made yesterday, because I wanted a grime guard that was larger, so it was wider, so it had more room to tuck my fabric. This is the one I made yesterday. And just look at this, look at the stitching. It is immaculate. It's really, the stitches are really consistent in size. It sews like butter. This thing is amazing. I couldn't get over it. So I spent half the day yesterday giggling like a little schoolgirl. I'm in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. So I called up my husband. I sent him a picture of it. I was like, oh my God, the thing works. He was like, I know it works. I knew it worked 10 years ago when I bought it. Anyway, so that's my little rant about the sewing machine. So, I'm going to insert a little video, actually, of the machine working because I was so enamored with it by yesterday evening that I had to take a little video of it in process, like in progress. It's fantastic. So I'll just insert, it's just a little clip. I'll just insert that so you can see it because it's great. Okay, so now that I've got my sewing machine love all over with, I will talk about a stash. I don't keep stash, and I think I said that in one of my other videos where I did, actually I think it might have been my tag that I had done. You know, do you hoard stash or do you buy as you need? I buy as I need. The only thing that I have ever, like that I have a stash of is DMC floss. I have like a full set of DMC floss and it's all bobbinated in bobbin boxes, and I just buy a few extras of common colors and keep those on hand, and anything else I need I purchase as I need it. Like I buy fabric as I need it usually, although it's really hard to get here, but I buy fabric as I need it. Yeah, so anywho, I came across this ad. This woman was selling, she was having a moving sale. She's leaving the province, and she had cross-stitch stuff that she had dragged back to Newfoundland with her from another province, hadn't worked on it at all in the 2 years she's been living here, and now she's getting ready to move again, and she said, I'll be darned if I'm dragging that stuff back across the country again. So she decided she was going to sell it. So she had this moving sale posted on one of these, you know, buy and sell type sites. And anyway, all it said was, you know, she was selling, you know, I don't know, like some furniture and a few pieces of this and that. And at the end of the ad, it said 300 plus cross-stitch floss. I didn't know if it was DMC, didn't know what brand it was, didn't know what kind of state it was in, didn't know how old it was, nothing. Sent her a message. I said, hey, because I've never bought any cross-stitch stuff from anybody online like that before, like used stuff. So I sent her a message. I said, hey, I see you're selling this stuff. Do you still have it? If so, what kind of condition is it in? How old is the floss? And do you know if it's any particular brand? She writes me back immediately. Floss is in good shape. It's all bobbinated. It's in bobbin boxes. It's 95% of it is DMC. It's all labeled, and the oldest piece of floss that's in there would be 5 years old. So she wanted it for, she was asking a pretty decent price for it anyway, but me, you know now, typical Newfoundlander, gonna haggle a little bit for a price. So I messaged her back. I said, absolutely, I'm interested in it. Would you take such and such a dollars for it instead of what she was asking? And I asked her for quite a bit less than what she was asking. And she came back and she said, absolutely, I just want it gone. And as a matter of fact, I got a couple of small pieces of Ada there. I'll throw those in for you as well. Perfect. So I go to her house to pick the stuff up. Honest to God. You got to see what, I'm going to show you what I got. I cannot believe what I got. So I get there. She's got 4 of these bobbin boxes that were full of floss. But they were all on these, they're all on these plastic bobbins, and for some reason I don't like plastic bobbins. But anyway, they're all already bobbinated. I'm not going to rebobinate them now. But I went through them all, and I pulled out everything that was not DMC and reorganized the boxes and filled them up and labeled them. Okay, so I now have, right, they're all labeled. The numbers are all, you know, on the sides. I now have 3. That's number 1. That's number 2. And that's number 3. I now have 3, and this one's almost full. I now have 3 full cases of spare DMC. So these would all be duplicates to stuff I already have. So that's great because now I got a little stash. When I run out of color, I know I've got a duplicate. So then I can, you know, I can always pull out my duplicate and start using that and then purchase more at the store, which is great. And then this box, which ended up being empty because I didn't really need the extra box. She had a bobbin winder in there. I've never used one of these things. I don't know if it's worth using it. I mean, in my opinion, if you got to wind this thing, isn't it just as well to hold the floss and wind the floss on the bobbin with your hand? So these things I do not understand because it's not mechanical. So why would you... Yeah, I don't know. Like if you're going to wind this with your hand, why wouldn't you just... I mean, I know it goes on your thing like this. It goes on your, you know, I know it sits on your thing. But, yeah, I just don't... You know, if you're going to wind that, I would just hold the bobbin just, you know, with my hands. It's, yeah, okay. Anyway, she had that in there. She had some size 24 needles in there. But I tend to use 26s or 28s, but they're great for 14 count, so that's awesome. There was some Krennic, and this is a blending filament. So what I'm going to do is all the anchor floss that was in there. She had some anchor and she had a few skeins of JP Coats. I'm actually going to, I guess, bobbinate those and put them in this box as extras that I can use for whatever. I don't really stitch with anchor floss. I've never really used it. But if I'm going to do, you know, some Christmas ornaments or something like that, I'll use it up on that stuff. So that was that. Turns out, I counted them, there are 357 DMC colors there. 357. Wicked steal. Wicked. Then, she also threw in, because that's what I went to buy. So all this stuff was extra. She threw in 5 cross-stitch magazines. Now they're really old, but some of the Christmas ornaments and stuff like that in here are still cute. Like they're still doable. And there's a couple little samplers in here that I thought were cute as well. So I don't know if I'll ever stitch them or not, but they're cute. I'll go through them and have a really good look at them. So there were the magazines and then the Aida. So she says she's got a couple small pieces of Aida. Small. Oh yeah, there were a couple small pieces. There was this piece, which is like a really nice mauve-y kind of purple. And that's just a small little piece. It's nice. That is 14 count. Actually, I think all of this stuff is 14 count except for one piece. There was this piece, okay, which is, I know the camera's not picking it up because with the rain and the light here today, but this is a really soft salmon-y pink. How can I show you the color of that? Ah, there we go. If I hold something white up against it, you'll see it, won't you? So that's a real salmon-y, like a peachy kind of pink color. Real soft color. So there was that piece. So those are nice little pieces of Aida. She threw in this small piece of, this has got to be 11 count. But again, it's, you know, fair size. I would probably use that for, I don't know what I would use that for. Because I don't stitch on 11 count, but probably, I don't know, ornament or something. Then, this is like the size, this is almost the size of a tablecloth, okay? There's this green Aida. I can't even back up far enough to show you how big this piece of green Aida is, okay? It's massive. and it's 14 count, and it's huge, right? Like, huge. I think it's 14. Yeah, it's 14 count. It's huge. I could very easily cut that down and use that for, I don't know what. But it's big. I'm sure I will find a use for it. I will find something that I can stitch on that lovely piece of green Aida. And the last piece is even bigger. This is a piece of cream colors. It's like antique white, I guess, or cream, right? 14 count Aida. Okay, that's how wide the thing is. And then when you open it up, okay, this width, that's only half. Right? Like, this thing, if I can't even stand up and show you. Like, it's huge. I guess it's a piece of fabric that she would have bought off of a bolt somewhere. Like, it's massive. Like, I could use this as a blanket. So, I will certainly be putting this to very good use. And I may try some ice dyeing. Maybe. Because it is 14 count Aida, and the only thing I use Aida for now is our full coverage projects, but I wouldn't use 14 for a full coverage project unless it was something small, because I don't like the holes. I don't like the finished look of it. I do like it, like with the Clouds Factory stuff. I still use it for those sorts of things, like small stitches. So unless I've got a small stitch I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to use this for. I'll come up with something. But if I dye it, if I ice dye it and it works out, I'll definitely be using it on something. I'll figure it out. But it's massive. So that was quite the surprising haul, because I never do a haul because there's no place here to do a haul from. Michael's is the only, place you can buy a stash here. And yeah, and I tend to just buy the regular stuff, like, DMC when I need it and a few pieces of fabric when I need it. So that was amazing. So thank you very much to this lady who was moving and decided that she's not cross-stitching anymore, because your junk is now my prized possession. Anyway, I think that's all that I wanted to chat with you about today. Just wanted to pop in and do the WIP update. Like I said, I'm definitely finishing that page today on Dad's project so I can get to my record girls, because I need a break from Dad's project, and but I'm not putting it down until I get that page finished. So I should have that done today. So have a great stitching day. Have a great stitching week. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead and post them below. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, and that's it. Oh, and if you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram. I'll put a link, or I think I can put a link to my Instagram in the comments section, but if not, I'll at least put my Instagram username in the comments section so that you can see my username and look me up on Instagram. Anyway, have a great day, everyone. Happy stitching. Bye.